And good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode here of the Firm Motorsports Paquet Midget series here on Whiskey Oval TV. My name is Brett Wojcik. Alongside me is Drake York, and we are live here tonight from the newly released Peevely, Missouri Federated Auto Parts at I-55 Speedway. And Drake, it is the newest track on the server. It literally just came out hours ago, and we are racing the midgets here. And of course, we'll have all of our series here this weekend, which include both the 360 series and the 410s. But tonight we start off with the Paquet Midget series here at the brand new track. I cannot wait to see what the midgets do on this place.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of these drivers now making their first competitive laps here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. Alex Rupert right now the fastest. Hancock in second. Rumsney, last week's winner at Cedar Lake, currently third. Inman Wall, the top five. Then it's you, Purdue. Now, Brian Hughes going to go to the top in car 0-2 with the 12.884 for Hughes. You see him on your screen coming off at turn number 4 down the front straightaway into turn 1. And, man, this racetrack, iRacing did a phenomenal job with it, and we're already seeing some lightning quick lap times with the midgets.
Absolutely. And now we were talking a little bit earlier here as you take a look on at your current points leader here, Logan Rumsey. He's won the last two events here, the first two events, I should say, here with the Paquet Midget Series. And, yeah, it's been kind of dominating performance here. But we were talking earlier today, you know, in the midgets here, we're doing about 12 nines, mostly what most of the field is doing, or at least your top 10's doing right now. As Cody Parmalee, he bumps into the top 10 at a 12.953. But, you know, we were talking that there's a potential when we get to the 410s running on Thursday night with the Apex Series, we could be at 9-second lap times. And Drake, you know, for people that maybe haven't been out here to Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55, tell us a little bit about the place and, you know, the massive bank in it. This place, you know, it's everyone's seen it, everyone knows about it, but for somebody who may have not have, tell us a little bit about this place here, and because you've seen it in person.
Yeah, I announced the USAC National Race back there in 2020. That was
lucky dog, you.
Yeah, it was one of the coolest things I've done in my career, no question about it. And TV, iRacing, whatever have you, does not do this place justice. It's really banked, but once you get there, it's a lot smaller than you'd think in person. I think the straightaways are a lot shorter than they look on TV. It's just insane, and the banking, you know, I would almost compare it to something of like Eldora or Lawrenceburg. It's just so crazily banked, and it's amazing as we're getting ready now for our first heat races, rolling along right here with the third race of the season with the Paquet Midget Championship here on iRacing.
Alrighty, so your top 10 qualifying was Brian Hughes at 12.884. He'll set quick time night. Alex Rupert second at 12.906. Darren Stark third quickest at 12.910. Matt Hancock at 12.915. Trevor Myers at 12.929. Logan Rumsey, Cody Parmalee, Mason Inman, Trent Wall, Ethan Yu, and Aiden Purdue round out your top 10. So heat race number 1 will look like this. Starting on the pole will be Brian Hughes. He was your fast qualifier night. Outside him will be Trevor Myers. Trent Wall starting third spot. Alongside him will be Cole Carib, excuse me. Isaac Soares will be rolling off in the 5th spot there. Then Jason Randolph and Jonathan Paquet will round out your field here tonight. 10 laps of distance. Top 2 going into the night's feature event. And Drake, another great field of midgets. Looks like we're going to have 4 heat races tonight. And we'll see what we can take out of each consolation event here. But right now we're taking 2 to the feature. So if you're going to make a move, you got to start early and often here.
Exactly. I mean, I'm very interested to see how this track races. Looking at past races with Power Eye, we usually see it hunker down around the inside wall, but already saw a lot of drivers venturing high in qualifying. You see that slick groove through the middle, but there's a lot of good dirt down towards the inside part of the racetrack. So I feel like running the bottom is going to definitely be the safe route, as it is most of the time. But looking at the top side too, it looks like it's fairly cleaned off. So it's just going to depend on how good your car's working.
Absolutely. So, iRacing Silverado pace truck comes in. Brian Hughes, Trevor Myers, they'll bring him down to green. We are underway here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 for one of the first iRacing events held here. And it starts off with Brian Hughes on the pole here, but Trevor Myers, he's looking on the high side. He'll hustle around. Myers will lead lap number 1.
Meyer got a good start. There was a couple cars that were bouncing off each other. I think Soares was the one that went flipping into turns 1 and 2, and it sounds like Jason Randolph also the car involved on that first lap collision. But anyway, it's Trevor Meyer out front. Cabry now is going to work his way up in the second and final transfer spot as they book it down the backstretch into 3.
Yeah, Cole Cabry, he picks up that third spot, or second spot, that final transfer spot. That'll move Brian Hughes back in the third spot here. Top 3, and actually 4 now, because you have Trent Wall. He's right there as well, trying to hold on to this now. But you got to get in the top 2 to make it into this feature event tonight, or else everyone else is going to be going into the consolation event. And right now, Brian Hughes, he's trying everything around Kareem, but he can't quite do it yet. Now here comes Trent Wall on the bottom of Brian Hughes for that third spot.
Yeah, those guys once again racing outside of a transfer spot. Cabry with the second and final transfer spot, but I'm really liking the line diversity we're seeing so far. I thought these guys would be around the inside wall a lot, but no, they are up towards the top. They're slowly but surely working their way up to the fences. We have a battle for third down the backstretch between Wall and Hughes.
Hughes is holding on to that third spot momentarily. As we take a look at this again, we are going to have 3 laps to go. Big slider by Trent Wall. He'll pull it on Brian Hughes right now, and he will make it stick. So Trent Wall and Brian Hughes with a great battle here. They're throwing haymakers at each other here early in this event. Hughes has that third spot at the line, but here comes Wall again. Big sliders. They're going to have 2 laps to go at the line. Coming the white flag, but they got to go now if they're going to be able to get the Cole Kareem. And right there, they're on him, Drake. White flag is going to be out. Do they have enough for him?
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at, Bert. They haven't stopped battling each other. That hasn't given them a lot of time to chase down Cabry into 3 and 4. Meyer looks like he'll get the win. Cabry's going to roll it through the slick, and he'll get the second and final transfer spot. Then it's going to be Hughes getting third at the line. Wall fourth upside down after the checkered, and Paquet rounds out the top 5.
Oh, Trent Wall goes upside down over the line. That was pretty interesting to watch. As Drake said, it was Trevor Myers and Cole Kareem. They are making your way into tonight's feature event. Brian Hughes, Trent Wall, John Paquet, Jason Randolph, and Isaac Soares will have to go in through the consolation events a little bit later on. Heat number 2 looks like this. Starting on the pole will be Alex Rupert. Outside of him will be Logan Rumsey, a couple of Pennsylvania boys on the front row. Ethan Yu and Austin Drucke make up row number 4. Mike Augustine and Colby Akari make up row number 3. And starting 7th and shotgun on the field will be Trey Garce. Again, 10 laps of distance. Top 2 will make it into tonight's feature event. And Drake, again, this place here, I think when we get feature event here time, this place is going to be wide. There's going to be sliders. I mean, you just saw it there between Wall and Hughes there with the sliders there just throwing on each other. I mean, they're throwing haymakers, and it's just the first heat race already.
Yeah, and again, I'm loving the line diversity we're seeing here. I'm surprised nobody's tried to putt-putted around the inside wall, to be quite honest with you. Looking at the line right now, I don't even think you'd have to putt-putt. You could back that sucker in and still get it to stick on the bottom. So just all a part of the dirt track racing experience. You never truly know what any racetrack's going to do on any given night.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to say here, too, as we get ready to go green here, is it kind of surprised me in a way, or I should say this, is that as we're going to go 3 wide for the lead between Rupert Rumsey, and it looks like Ethan Yu, he's going to be putting his hat in this ring here. We're almost 3 wide off of turn number 4 and lap number 1. Logan Rumsey's going to take the early lead. Now we're going to go almost 4 wide, a little bit of contact back through the field here as Rupert gets shuffled back to 3rd. Ethan Yu going to pull a slider on Rupert for the 2nd spot. He'll make it stick. Rupert's there to complete lap number 2.
Rupert's going to stick it down on the bottom, slides through the slick in 1 and 2. He was right there. They're going to drag race for that final transfer spot down to 3. Logan Rumsey has established himself up front, but the battles for second, they're still side by side back into 1.
Back into 1 and 2 now. Rupert pulls a slider on Ethan Yu. Yu turns it back on him now. He goes underneath him again. Going to pull the slider. They're throwing haymakers on each other. It's slide job mania here in heat race action at the Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. As again, Yu will finally clear Rupert. He'll take away the second spot. He's in the transfer position. Now Rupert's going to look underneath him. A view again has become complete lap number 5.
Your eye on Drucke back there in the 4 spot. He is stalking the 2nd and 3rd place cars. There you see him on your screen as he gets into the fence heading in at 3. He's able to save it but loses valuable time to Rupert and Yu right in front of him. Now challenged to the inside by Akari.
Obi Akari He gets around Austin Druki. He'll take away the third spot or the fourth spot, I should say, as it looks like Rumsey and you will finally settle in, and now Rupert's got to go get a chance here, or try and reel in Ethan Yu. But Ethan Yu, he's making a really nice run right now on Logan Rumsey. See if he can't close in on him. We're going to have 2 laps to go at the line, Drake. That lead is shrinking.
Yeah, I'm noticing one thing with you. He's a lot more committed to the top on entry in 3 and 4, and I think especially with the midgets here on a big racetrack like this, that's going to be so important. That time Rumsey definitely moved up on entry to 3 and 4, and you can see how that helped him a little bit.
White flag is out this time for Logan Rumsey. He is looking for, I wouldn't say the clean sweep, but he's looking for another win here tonight. So far, he is 2 for 2 on the season. He will win heat race number 2 here tonight, as himself and Ethan Yu make their way into the night's feature event, followed by Alex Rupert, Austin Druki, Kobe Akari, Trey Garce, and Mike Augustine. So Drake, again, some fantastic racing here. As you see, Rumsey goes over, and I had to put a feather in, or put a pin in this comment I was going to make here, because the racing was hot and heavy as they went 3-4 wide. I almost think with the way they're racing tonight, could we see our first track rework of the season? We haven't seen one in the last 2 weeks. The first week at Kokomo, we went right into it. Last week at Cedar Lake, we went right into it. So the way the track is, we may have to see a track rework tonight here, Drake. I mean, the night's still young, though.
Yeah, and I think what the track rework is, is it going to be worth it doing it, for a long feature ahead? And I mean, the one reason we see it every night with the Apex series, not only because we get a lot of cars, but also due to the fact that, the wing sprint cars, they're a lot heavier, so when they slide across the racetrack makes it a lot slicker, but also you have that wing speed, and obviously wind dries thing out. So you have that wing speed factoring into it, and you got all the wind and stuff. So there's a lot more factors going into the track drying out with wing 410 sprint cars compared to the mighty midgets out here on the Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 surface. But looking at the entry of the corners right now, it's slick in just about every lane as we take a look at our lineup, Bert.
Absolutely. Darren Stark, Cody Parmalee make up row number 1. Aiden Perdue, Austin Piper, Craig Silby, and Grayson Noel will make up your 6 cars in this heat race. Again, top 2 make it into the night's event as we are halfway through heat races. Heat race number 3 of 4 on their way here, as it's going to be Darren Stark taking the lead now, as they're going to get a battle for second here off of the corner. It looks like it's going to be Cody Parmalee and Aiden Perdue going into the second spot right now. It's going to be Aiden Perdue moves up into the second spot to complete lap number 1.
Yeah, one car went around on the backstretch. I believe that was Parmalee and Perdue got together, but nonetheless, we stay green once again. No yellow in tonight's preliminary events, only yellows in the feature, but Aiden Perdue up to the second spot. Darren Stark currently your leader. Perdue, first driver to really go around the inside wall, and he was making some hay, just as I say that. Total lane change up to the fence in 3 and 4.
Yeah, him and Austin Piper nearly made contact there. Piper found something, or Perdue, I should say, found something on the bottom, because he really let it slide all the way up on Piper, and he was right there. Now you see Sparks coming off the back of Perdue. Now they're just, oh my, going reckless abandonment out here as Perdue gets up in the wall again. Sparks is just showering off the back of that number 37 car as he's closing in on your leader, Darren Stark here. It's getting close now. Ooh, cuts off Piper again halfway at this time.
Oh, Perdue stepped over it a little too far right that time, and he goes over, taking himself out of a transfer. The car's going to land on all 4s, but up front, it's still Stark and now Piper to the second and final transfer spot. Bert, I was just about to say, while Perdue was taking a lot of risks on the top side, he was making some good speed. Maybe didn't have enough to pass Darren Stark, but he was close. He was on the bumper, and now he's going to find himself back in a lower main tonight. He's in the 6th and final running position on the racetrack currently, and once again, top 2 go to the feature.
Absolutely. We're going to have 2 laps to go this time by now. I've been watching Austin Piper here. He's taking a very unique line here. He's going to go in down low by the fence and let it just slide all the way up to the cushion. It's almost like the line Aiden Perdue was taking, but what Aiden Perdue went over is a white flag is out now for Darren Stark. Perdue was just smacking the thing off the wall the entire time, but now it almost like the line is maybe to apex the entire corner as Piper will go down low, but it'll be Darren Stark taking up the heat win over Austin Piper. Those 2 make it into the feature. Craig Silby, Grayson Nodal, Craig, Cody Parmalee, and Aiden Purdue round out your field. And Drake, you mentioned it there, is that Purdue took the risk. You had to take it, though. There wasn't much of you couldn't do anything else. You have to take those risks. But fortunately, that's a price you pay sometimes.
Exactly. I was surprised to see him do that. I would think maybe once he tapped the wall, maybe he would make a solid line, but he kept going with the dive bomb. And right as I was about to talk about him hitting the fence, he just got in that time. It hit the right rear, and then it got up in the air and bounced over on the left rear, and that was all she rode for Aiden Purdue.
Absolutely. So your fourth and final heat race on the Speedway right now. Matt Hancock and Mason Inman make up your front row. Bradley Wittenshaw and Mason Coffey row number 2. Tim Smith and Trent Cameron make up your 6 cars. Again, top 2 go into the night's feature event, and we'll see. Will probably go from, I believe, probably the C main. I would think Drake will probably go from the C main and move on from there in tonight's lower main consolation events. But I-55 so far, it's been living up some great racing so far. And the track, it's starting to get very, very slick out there. So I'm getting really curious here on what they're going to do throughout the rest of the night here, Drake.
Yeah, I was just looking at that shot through turns 1 and 2. Still surprised nobody's really made a huge effort. On the bottom side, we've seen drivers run it, but nobody's really stuck with it that long, as green flag is out on heat race number 4.
Hey, right on board there with Matt Hancock. He'll take the other lead now. Mason Inman, he'll pull into the second, go single file. Now they're 2x2 going down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Inman and Wittenshaw will go up on the high side there, as you have Mason Coffey. He's looking underneath the bottom there. Wittenshaw up into the third spot now. That's Mason Coffey in the third spot. Wittenshaw, he's one of those high side hustlers as they come down to complete lap number 2. Here comes Hancock looking underneath of Inman. We're 3 wide for the lead.
And Hancock's going to dive bomb off the corner to take the lead, but Inman right back to the inside. Does he pull the trigger for a slider? Yes, he does. Here comes Winshaw, and here comes Coffey back behind. Inman and Hancock continue to duel. Meanwhile, still that race for thirds intense as Hancock got a little sideways, and that's going to cost him the transfer spot. Now he bumps into Coffey, and no yellow will be needed. Obviously don't have any yellows in this, but car went up around in the corner. I believe that was Wittenshaw.
Yep, Wittenshaw was the one that got up and around there. Very similar cars here between him and Mason Coffey, who's now in the second spot. He's back behind Mason Inman right now. Matt Hancock running in the third spot, but he's a little bit farther back of Coffey. Wittenshaw still on the Speedway there. But just as I say that, here comes Hancock. He's starting to close in, but he's getting battled from Trent Cameron as we complete lap number 7.
Oh, and Hancock's going to slide up the racetrack and tag the turn 2 wall, and that will spell an end to his heat race. What a topsy-turvy heat race so far, and only just a few laps to go. The top 2 have spread themselves out. Trent Cameron, the first driver on the outside looking in, and he is rolling the bottom side around the Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. Slowly but surely starting to close in just a little bit on Coffey. I don't think he's going to have enough time to get to the 14, but we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, tell you what, Drake, he's there, but big push off of turn number 4 as a white flag is out. Final lap. Can he keep it down in that moisture and try and get one more run on Mason Coffey? Mason Inman has this pretty much won as he'll go around. He'll collect the white or checker flag here off of turn number 4. It's going to be Mason Coffey taking home that second and final transfer spot. Third was Trent Cameron. Fourth, Tim Smith. Brad Winshaw and Matt Hancock round out the field. So, Drake, you said it best, a topsy-turvy heat race there, and it's only going to get wilder, I think, as the night goes on, because, man, this is getting slick.
Absolutely, and that heat race, I think, really illustrated what this racetrack's capable of, and you look at, especially Trent rolling the bottom there at the very end of that race, try to make a run on Coffey for the transfer spot, but I think the bottom slowly but surely starting to come in, but really impressed with the speed a lot of these guys been able to carry around the top side. Definitely didn't expect that tonight.
Absolutely. So we're going tonight's C main event, 10 laps of distance. Top 3 will go into the B main, which will roll off like this in your C main. Kobe Kari and Cody Parmalee on the front row. Brad Wittenshaw, Jason Randolph, Trey Garce, Aiden Purdue, Matt Hancock, Isaac Soares, and Mike Augustine make up your C main cars. Again, top 3 after 10 laps will go into the night's feature event, as I believe Matt Hancock, he may be a scratch for the rest of the night as the field's rolling off. Yes, I do not see Matt Hancock's car out there, so he will be done for the night. So Drake, I think now this is where we're gonna kind of see maybe later feature event. I think the way the track's at right now, or we could just be seeing what the start of this is. So I mean, there's so many unknowns here with I-55, and I think it's great for iRacing that we got this today and we're able to have this on the Paquet Midget Championship here tonight already.
I was surprised we were able to get it up and running as quickly as we did, but credit to the folks down at iRacing for putting out a quality product, whether it's pavement, dirt, sprint car, midget, stock car, Indy car, F1, you name it. They're some of the best in the industry, no question about it.
Off at turn number 4, green flag is out on night C main, as again, top 3 will make it in the night's feature event. As Kobe Akari, he's going to get shuffled all the way back into third. It's going to be an early lead for, it looks like, Cody Parmalee. He's going to take that early lead now. As you have on the bottom, Brad Wittenshaw, he's up into the second spot now. So Akari, he's all the way back to third on the bubble already after the complete lap number 1, but he's already battling for second underneath on the high side of Wittenshaw. He's looking at the Parmalee here, but we got almost 3 wide off of turn number 4.
And what more can you ask for right now? Groove down the bottom is good, groove up on the top side, and it's slick through the middle. What we'd love to see. They're really trying to blaze down the fence, but man, look at the run you can get off the top side of the corners. That's just what makes it so enticing, especially for the midget cars. It can be hard to keep up momentum like that. You really don't want to break the momentum in a midget like this, and it's similar to a wing sprint car in the way that you got to keep it straight almost the entire time just to keep the momentum up, keep the revs up. Meanwhile, Aiden Purdue making moves. He's trying to battle himself into tonight's feature event. Had that big mistake in the heat race, and he is now locked into the show. Currently runs in that third spot, battling with Wittenshaw down the backstretch.
Yeah, Kobe Akari, he got a little too high there. He's been bouncing off the wall the last couple laps, and it finally bit him where he goes up and over. Going into turn number 3, it's almost if it was a little bit sooner, it would have been like in World of Outlaws 2002. He hit the opening on the backstretch at Peevely. I've done that many times and have cursed out Ratbag so many times because of that. But right now, Aiden Purdue, he is up into that second spot with Brad Wittenshaw. That high side, it's the line to be at right now, Drake. But Wittenshaw, he's committed to the bottom, and it's still working for him. But it seems like the high line in 1 and 2 is a better line to go. But 3 and 4, you can get the run off the bottom, it feels like.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, and you got to be careful too. It almost looked like Purdue a few times got caught out by the grip on the top side, like car really leaning over to the left pretty hard off a corner exit, but it's almost reversed now than we normally see at a lot of places. I feel like you got to stick to the top at a lot of places to build up momentum. Meanwhile, Parmalee is going to win. Purdue second, Wittenshaw, your third and final transfer out of tonight's C main.
So your top 3 will be going into the night's B main. That's Cody Parmalee, Aiden Purdue, and Brad Wittenshaw. Those 3 are going into the night's B, or tag the end of the B main. And that'll look like this. Brian Hughes, Alex Rupert will be on your front row. Craig Silby, Trent Cameron, Trent Walt, Austin Drucke, Grayson Odell, Tim Smith, Jonathan Paquet, and then your transfers from the C main, Cody Parmalee, Aiden Purdue, and Brad Wittenshaw. So Drake, I think that we're looking at a track that 12 laps of distance, 10 will go in the night's feature event. You're looking at a track that's getting slower and slicker. Again, I got to bring up this. I wonder what the track crew's thinking on this. Are we going to have a reset? Are we going to try and go and see what this does for 35 laps or 40? Oh yeah, 35 laps here tonight. There's again a lot of unknowns here tonight. I'm really curious on what Sparky and them are going to do after this 12 lap event. That's a lot more laps on this track.
It's definitely interesting. So, oh boy, I don't know. Track racing's so hard to predict. I mean, I've watched countless laps at Peevely, whether it's been, wing sprint cars, being there for USAC events, Man, it's been such a toss-up tonight because I said, oh, well, after watching some power eye races here in years past, they kind of hunker around the bottom and through the middle is about as high as they get. But we've seen
Yeah, made
guys,
a lot out of you pretty quick,
slide all
huh?
the way to the fence tonight.
Yeah, made a lot out Drake York pretty quick here tonight. So that's what you can trust. You can't trust the media, folks. Anyway, so as we got Brian Hughes and Alex Rupert on the front row, green flag is out. Your final qualifying event here tonight at the Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 in Peevely. And we're already going to take Brian Hughes on the front row. He's going to go up and hold on to lead right now. The bottom's there, Drake. He's holding off Alex Rupert by Catfish in the bottom. I wonder if that's going to be the main line, or maybe it's starting to take a little bit of rubber down there.
Now these guys are finally making me look like I know what I'm talking about. They're all down on the bottom, trying to knock down the inside wall around the Speedway, but you still got Rupert up top. He's making some momentum as Sylvie about flipped his left rear. They both keep it straight down the backstretch. Rupert's now going to drive it through the middle of the shots line, as some would call it, off at turn number 4. He's going to hang on a second at the stripe.
Meanwhile, we look through the pits there. I saw Aiden Perdue. He's already in the pit, so his night is done. Trent Wall is your final car on the bubble right now. He's underneath Alex Rupert. He will take second away, so that puts Rupert on the bubble right now. Remember, or excuse me, 10 we're taking. Now I thought we were still in the C main. So jumping. So Alex Rupert, he's upside down, and if I'm looking at this right, if he falls back, actually he's gonna fall tonight. So he's just in right now. We have one car up and over. So Craig Silvey's upside down, as it looks like Cody Parmalee and Aiden Perdue are in the pits. That's a big save for both Alex Rupert and Craig Silvey, as Silvey, he's in. So right now, Silvey will be in tonight's feature event, as he's still in the pits, but he's the first car that's going to be marked laps down, but in front of Parmalee and Perdue. Wow, it's a wild turn of events here in tonight's B mains. We're already got 4 laps to go.
Let's see what happens here. Silvey gets to Rupert, kind of like he got before, just makes contact there. Rupert got a hit. I believe that was Parmalee in the blue car that went upside down. It's not even the whole story, ladies and gentlemen. That's how much happened in a short amount of time. A crazy turn of events in tonight's B-main event is we're coming down to the wire here in this one. Hughes still up front, Wall in second, Cameron third, Smith fourth. Shaw rounds out the top 5 as they run.
Keep an eye on this, Drake, because here comes Trent Wall. He's looking underneath the bottom of Brian Hughes. White flag is out. He's looking for the win in tonight's B main event. Wall will go all the way up to the wall, as he's going to go down into 3 and 4 again. Hughes on the bottom. Check it at the line. Brian Hughes has a better run on the bottom. He will win tonight's B main over Trent Wall, Trent Cameron, Tim Smith, Brian Wittenshaw, Austin Drucke, Alex Rupert, Grayson Nodal, Jonathan Paquet, and Craig Silvey, who is your last car to be scored multiple laps down, but he will make it into the night's feature event by being the first car marked multiple laps down. So, as it looks like, doesn't look like the track has been reset. So, Drake, what you see is what we get. We are going to be in this, folks, here. We're going to do a short warm-up, it sounds like, and we're going to go after it tonight here for 35 laps. The Federated Auto Parts iRacing. Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 Speedway. So, Drake, your thoughts on this place so far? I think it's kind of blowing some minds here on how well this track has done on its first night out, by the way. Remember, it literally just dropped at about maybe 11 o'clock this morning. So this track's not even 10 hours old on the service. And it feels like it's been here for a while. It doesn't feel like there's too much wrong with it right now.
Yeah, I mean, they got rid of the rat bag glitch on the backstretch like you talked about. But in all seriousness, this place has raced great so far. Obviously, iRacing always takes such attention to detail when it comes to getting things right in the real world. And last time I was there, everything looked the way it does now. So it's good to see that. And race is fantastic. The midgets have been able to move around a lot, and I've been hearing, the stories from people today, run really fast laps in the 360s and 410 sprint cars. So that's good to hear, and makes me a lot more excited for the rest of the week here.
Absolutely. And I can't wait for the rest of the week here. It's going to be a lot of fun here as it looks like I think the drivers might be pulled in. They're going to say we might be good to go here in just a minute. Taking a little less than 2 minutes of our 7 minute warm up here as we're waiting to see here. Yeah, I think you're right, Drake. The place has raced very well so far here tonight. I'm kind of curious to see what we're going to see in the feature event because if you notice, there was a lot of movement towards the bottom in that B main. They were kind of starting to catfish that. Um, so we'll have to wait and see if that transpires into tonight's feature event. But now you're into the thick of it right now. So in the last couple weeks, it's kind of surprised all of us, I think, with how quickly it went from okay, well, this track may went. Um, it may go from a rubber down track or maybe start taking some rubber, but we've been treating some great racing throughout the entire last couple of weeks here without a track reset. And as you said, a lot of that has to go with the midgets not having the wing, obviously less horsepower, and obviously less wind around this place here, so they're not tuning up the track, say as what a 360 or a 410 would do.
Exactly, and that goes along with other stuff like big block modifieds per se. I mean, you never see a big block modified race hardly that isn't glassy, smooth, slick all the way through. So that obviously factors into it a little bit, and it just depends on what type of car you have on the racetrack, plain and simple.
Absolutely, and I think that they went with a very nice choice here with running this midget series because not really too many top midget series out there. The midgets have been kind of a disputed car on iRacing over the last couple of years, but now I really think they're starting to come in their own here, and they've been really, really racy from every event we've seen here. As your field is making its way to the grid here, and we're about ready to give you tonight's starting lineup for your 35-lap main event, the first ever main event here on Whiskey Oval TV. Once again, thanks for everyone for joining us here on Whiskey Oval. My name is Bert Wardrick. Alongside me is Drake York, our fantastic producer, and I believe the owner of Whiskey Oval, Jake. He's with us here tonight as well as we're all ready to go 35 laps the distance. And here is your starting lineup. We'll go back to front here on this one tonight since it is the first time ever. Starting 18th to be Craig Silby, then Jonathan Paquet will make up the 17th starting spot. Starting off 16th will be Grayson Nodal. Alex Rupert starting in the 15th spot. 14th will be Austin Drucke. 13th will be Brad Wittenshaw. 12th will be Tim Smith. Starting in the 11th spot will be Trent Cameron. In the 10th spot, Trent Wall. Rolling off 9th will be Brian Hughes. In the 8th spot, Mason Coffey. 7th will be Austin Piper. Starting 6th will be Ethan Yu. Cole Cabri, yeah, I'll get that right sooner or later. Cabri will be starting off in the 5th spot. Mason Inman will start in the 4th spot. 3rd spot will be Darren Stark. And on your front row here tonight for a 35-lap main event at the Federated Auto Parts Raceway, the I-55 will be Logan Rumsey and Trevor Myers. So Rumsey going for 3 in a row with the Paquet Midget Series here. Cannot wait to see what happens here. First ever iRace event here at the Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. Drake, let's do it, buddy. Let's have some fun here tonight. Green flag is out.
Rumsey and Meyer bring the field down in turns 1 and 2. Like we've seen many times, the high side off the corner is the place to be to get that run down the straightaway. Rumsey picks up right where he's left off from the last few weeks, but now here comes Meyer with a strong run off the bottom side of the racetrack.
Get that bottom side work right now, but Logan Rumsey goes all the way up to the wall. Now he'll run that shots line, as you said earlier, kind of in the middle there. It looks like you have Darren Stark, or excuse me, that looks Mason Inman. He's going to go all the way up to the fence now. Rumsey's going to try challenge Myers for the lead down the back straight. They are side by side into turn 3 and 4. Rumsey's running that shots line. He's going to hold the lead. Yes, he will. Logan Rumsey back to the point.
Rumsey really stepped it down the racetrack through 3 and 4. Let's see if he does it again here. Maybe he goes lower to block the line, kind of runs through the slick like we've seen him do the last few laps, but right now that's been able to help him hold off Meyer and the rest of the field, but gets that good run off the top side of 1 and 2. As we look farther back in the field, look at everybody all over the place, top, bottom, middle, just about everything you can ask for from a midget race.
You're right on board with Trent Cameron right now, and you can see how much work he's put in there. Gets a little bit of a push going into turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. Again, you really get a feel for this track here, Drake, as you get a little bit of contact right in front of him. As I believe that was Craig Silvey and Mason Coffey. They made a little bit of contact here. But so far, we are 7 laps into the 35-lap event. Logan Rumsey leads Trevor Myers and Cole Kareem as him and Darren Stark are having a fantastic battle right now for that 3rd spot.
Looking off the corner with Cavery right now, he gets a good run into the back of Stark. Somehow he keeps it going. That could have been absolutely disastrous for him, but guess what? He's going to go back to the wall in turns 1 and 2, and like I said, these drivers are just able to launch down the backstretch with the run off the 2. Rolls up to the outside of Stark. It looks like the top in 3 and 4 has gone too far around. It's too slow up on the top for the drivers to really line a good run and make up position and time up there. So everybody's kind of resorted back to the bottom / middle side of the racetrack. Seen a lot of cars on the top of 3 and 4.
Yeah, not too many going up top there, but as you look at Logan Rumsey, he's running that top side right now. As they're getting close in right now on Trevor Myers, as Cole Cabry and Darren Stark, they're right there on that back tail tank now, as Cabry will go up on the high side. He'll high side hustle that thing around on Trevor Myers. They're there. Now you got a 4-car battle. Here comes Mason Inman. 4-car battle for 2nd shaping up here, Drake.
Yeah, Inman is really rolled onto this battle in a hurry, and he's going to try to blast around Stark down the backstretch. The head, can he clear him? And side by side right in front of him as well. 2 cars going side by side, or I should say 4 cars going side by side, 2 rows deep. More can you ask for? Cabry's going to rail the top, and it looks like he's going to clear for the 2nd spot caution out on the Speedway.
Yeah, I heard some crunching there, as it looks like Austin Drucke, he may be the cause of the caution. And Craig Silvey, he can't park there. He's upside down in turns 1 and 2. Hopefully we got a replay on what it might have happened there. But wow. I tell you what, Drake, if you had told me earlier before we were in the first 15 laps here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55, caution free, I'd said you'd be a liar, because I thought we would have had a lot more incidents, a lot more carnage so far here, but a very clean race. But there has been some right rears thrown, as it looks like, yeah, Silvey Slider may have came up a little bit short.
Yeah, just a simple slider didn't clear and a hard hit in the wall. It's Silvey. It looked like his car, after that contact, got really, really hard on the left rear, and when the right front got on the fence, that was basically all she rode. And it looks like we'll get an onboard perspective here. This is from Austin Drucke.
Look at it again, yeah.
I mean, it was just one of those scenarios that Silvey maybe thought he was clear on that slider, and he thought he still had enough position to try to stay up there, but oh well, just one of those racing deals. We're back to Green Rumsey, picks up right where he left off. We're going to see if Cabry has anything for him here. Right now,
absolutely,
he's able
we'll
to
see
for 2nd.
Yeah, he's right there. Oh, he got a nice run there. Cole Cabry had a really nice run on Logan Rumsey. They'll go both down onto that middle, just probably about 2 car lengths off the bottom right now. But Rumsey, he's money down there. As Cabry, he's been great. What an entry into turns 1 and 2, Drake. He's right there on the tail tank, because he's going to try and look down low going in 3 and 4.
He makes his move to the inside there, side by side down the front straightaway. Cabry's going to send it down to the inside, slide job in 1 and 2. Rumsey crosses him back, clears him down the backstretch.
Oh, Cabry with the haymaker now, as he's trying to get on Logan Rumsey in that 3rd spot. Now Mason Inman, 3-car battle for the lead. Rumsey's up and over. Logan Rumsey goes up into the fence. Oh, the first mistake all year by Logan Rumsey. He is up and over. Oh man, that's something you do not see out of Logan Rumsey, and something we haven't seen all season long, Drake.
Man, what a odd and unfortunate mistake for Logan Rumsey to make. It looked like he just caught the wall on entry to turn 1, and that car went flying, and Cabry now will inherit the lead. We're going to get a good look here. There's Rumsey. He's the leader into 1. I think he just rode up on the wall in the entry.
Yeah, it looks like that. But if we can cut back to the live cam, Drake, real quick. We got a problem here. Jake, if you can go to the live cam right now on Cole Cabry, right now,
he's
parked in turns. Yeah, it looks, he went into the wall here. I want to see if he can't go back here. under caution, he got into the wall. I just caught it because I'm looking up both the iRacing replay and the off the iRace itself. It looked like the car just came to us. He hit the brake too hard and it slid right down. He slammed the front end of the wall. So, is there front end damage? And he still can't get it going. And I believe, yeah, he's in the pits.
Yeah, he glitches out down the front stretch, but at that point, you can already see the car is headed towards the inside wall. I mean, I also got to wonder, he basically drove into Rumsey as he was flipping.
You know what?
I have to imagine if that caused just cage damage, like down to damage, and then obviously, cage. But man, I couldn't imagine that messing up something like that on the front end.
You know what? I wonder if we go back, if you had looked in that front and that inside view of the car there, you saw how hard the wheel was turning. That's a great job by Jake over at Whiskey Oval, showing us that his wheel was turned all the way to the left. I wonder if his wheel disconnected. We had that. I don't think it was Cole last week, but somebody had their wheel disconnect last week on him, and I wonder if that's happened again here tonight. Either way, tough break for Cole Cavalry. A great run goes away again due to technical glitch, but hey, that gives Mason Inman the lead. He'll take it away from Darren Stark, but Stark is right there battling with him as you have Austin Piper up there as well. We might have a 3-car battle, maybe a 4-car battle for the lead here momentarily.
Yeah, this race has been totally turned on its head now as we're closing in on 10 laps to go. Inman continues to rip the fence on the outside, and then Stark continues to roll the fence on the inside of the Speedway, almost side by side off of turn number 4, but Inman with the run down the front stretch. Now Stark's going to change up his line and follow the 0-7 up to the top side of 1 and 2.
They pulled away from Austin Piper and the rest of the field right now as they hold about, let's call it about almost a second lead on the rest of the field here. But Mason Inman, he's in the catbird seat right now with 12 laps to go here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. Again, it's kind of roll your kind of shots line, almost laying out the middle, but you can go anywhere you want in turns 1 and 2, but a lot of them seem to go up on the high side hustling there, Drake.
Exactly, but I'm starting to notice the train, like you said, rolling around the bottom side of the Speedway. I almost have to imagine that could be the way to go here as this race wears on. The top side 1 and 2 is still the dominant line through that corner, but as we've seen all race long, the bottom to middle side is the place to be in 3 and 4. The top's not really a factor down there. You see your two leaders bolt to the top side. Inman with a little bit of a mistake on the top side. That allows Stark to close in. He's going to go way top side in 3 and 4 now, trying to gather a run off the corner. Inman's going to slip away, though, just a little bit.
Darren Stark, he is all over Mason Inman right now, but Inman finally gets his stuff together. He'll pull it back in to hold on to that lead right now. He'll get back and hit his line. I think Stark missed his line there going in turns 3 and 4. Mason Inman pulls away a little bit, but now Stark pulls him right back in as we're going to have 7 laps to go, but the caution is back out.
Jason Coffey was stopped up on the top side of turns 1 and 2. That brings out the yellow. Get a good look here on our replay. This is down in 3 and 4. Coffee in the bright pink and white 24. Oh, slides up in a Rupert and simple spin, backs into the fence. Everybody able to miss, unfortunately, but that will bring out the yellow now. 30 laps completed.
So, a very interesting restart now as we are inside 10 laps to go. Single file restart, I believe, is the rule here, as we're going to go around at least 1 or 2 more times yet with the iRacing Silverado pace truck. And Drake, it seems like it has been a wide track in 1 and 2, but the train is in the bottom in 3 and 4. But Stark's not afraid to go trying some lines here. Actually, we're going to go this time around. Looks like, yeah, iRacing Silverado pace truck is in, so we're going to have 6 laps to sell this baby right now. Green flag is back out as Mason Inman, he's going to go back into the fence right now. Better restart than Stark that time as it come down into turns 3 and 4.
Inman with a really good launch, as you said. Stark kind of relegated to back where he was and just tailing the back of the '07 through turns 1 and 2. We've been seeing how hard these drivers have been working down there, especially Stark made a big run to the inside, almost contact between your two leaders. They keep it straight, 32 laps completed now.
Oh, I was ready to yell big time problems there between Stark and Inman, but Stark had to hit the brakes here to kind of keep that thing going now. As we are going to come down right now, 3 laps to go on Mason Inman and Darren Stark. Does he have anything left on him here? As Inman, he can't pull away from him, he can't shake him, but Stark, he's going to try and high side hustle this thing, go all the way up to the fence right now. As we're going to have 2 laps to go right now. Drake, is there anything left in the tank here?
I don't think so. Inman's held a pretty wheel all race long. Can Stark do anything? That is the question. Still high side hustling, as Bert just said. Down to the white flag, 1 to go. Inman's got a sizable advantage down the backstretch in a 3 and 4.
Logan Rumsey's won the first 2 weeks of this series, but he's not going to win tonight, as Mason Inman will pick up his first Paquet Midget Championship Series win here at the Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55.
Stark second, Wall third, Hughes fourth. Smith rounds out the top 5 in an absolute barn burner here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. First driver not named Logan Rumsey to pick up a win here this season.
Absolutely, Drake. It's been a great night midget racing. A very quick midget race, I should say here. A lot better than I was expecting here. But as you take a look at him right now, Mason Inman picks up his first Paquet Midget Series win here. He'll put it down the front straightaway. He's getting ready to come out of the car, and we'll have a word with him with the great Drake York headed on down there to get an interview. Trent Wall will also be down there as well. But Mason Inman, in order to say you won them all, you have to win the first one, and Mason Inman wins the first midget race here on Whiskey Oval TV at the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Speedway. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm ready for bed. Anyway, let's head on down to Drake York. He's got Trent Wall, your third place runner here tonight.
We'll get Trent up here. Third place tonight. Trent, weren't really able to slice and dice with the 2 leaders, but at least you had a front row seat and a podium run. Not a bad way to end the evening.
Yeah, man, that was fun. I just kind of found a line real early. Just started running it, and it just started pulling. I had nothing for the leaders. That was a heck of a race there.
Really like to thank for getting you on the bottom step of the podium tonight.
I'd like to thank M9 Setups, Ethan, Yui, Cody Parmley, Trevor Mayer, Isaac Suarez, everyone over there, TPD Designs. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just everyone that helps out on the car and everything.
That is Wall, your third place finisher tonight. Wall with a good run. Wasn't able to do anything with the leaders. Place tonight, Darren Stark. And Darren, you basically threw everything you had there for the win. Just wasn't meant to be. But, man, you made things interesting. What more did you need at the end?
To be honest, I think I had one of the cars to beat for sure. Just needed this track to be a little bit. Track was actually awesome. Can't it was just racy, and it was double file for most of it. But near there at the end, it got really single file down there in 3 and 4, and I just started throwing stuff at it, and I wasn't able to find anything, and I wasn't gonna wreck him. So we'll take second and move on to the next week.
Well, Darren Stark, a classy racer as always. Anybody you'd like to thank for getting you here tonight?
Trent Pullman Designs, M9 Setups, Ethan, Cody, and Trevor for the opportunity to be a part of this, and everybody who helps me progress as an iRacer.
That's Darren Stark, second place tonight. We'll now bring in your winner, Mason Inman, who drove a fantastic race. But Mason, what's running through your mind as you see Rumsey and Cabry take themselves out of the race? You think, hey, it's anybody's race now. It's my race at this point.
Yeah, when Logan got on the wall, I'm like, okay, there's one person now. I got, Cabry in front of me. I'm like, okay. And then I think his wheel got messed up under caution there. And I'm like, I was kind of thinking it. I'm like, yeah, baby, we got this. So I knew I had to be out front, stay clean, run my line, not worry about, Darren and Trent behind me, just do my thing out front.
Anybody you'd like to thank for helping you get the win tonight?
Yeah, Gage Stevens, Logan Rumsey, Rico. He kind of, he helped me a lot to be how good I am in midgets right now. House of Speed. Yeah, that's it. Those guys
Mason
really helped me a
Inman
lot.
tonight. Go ahead, Mason. Sorry.
I was just saying those guys really helped me a lot.
Mason Inman, your winner here tonight at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55.
All right, thank you very much, Drake York. And that will pretty much wrap it up here from Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. You take a look over the field again from the blimp cam, or the Speedway, over the blimp cam here. And there is your final rundown. So Mason Inman picks up the win here tonight over Darren Starks and Trent Wall. And Drake, I think Peevely has really kind of lived up to the hype and what it's been forecast as. And, now we're starting to get some more dirt tracks in here. Hopefully the next build, Port Royal, will be ready. We'll be able to go out to Port Royal probably in the fall whenever we get back racing here because we'll be taking most of the summer off from what I've been told. But yeah, I think Peevely, it's definitely going to be one of our favorite tracks on the server. Remember, we got 2 more races here yet this week here with the Apex or the Forum Motorsports League here. Tomorrow night, of course, you have the Next Level Racing 360 tomorrow night, and then, of course, it all wraps up on Thursday night with the Apex Autoglass and Team 410 Sprint Car Championship. And if it's anything like tonight, we are in for a heck of a week of racing.
Yeah, as soon as Sparky told us that we were going to spend the whole week here at Peevely, I was immediately excited, a lot more motivated to, come see what this is all about here with Peevely. It's just one of those tracks that, obviously in the real world, if you haven't been, it's one of those crazy racetracks that look at it and say, who is insane enough to build a racetrack like this? Kind of how you look at Eldora and Terre Haute, crazy tracks like that. It's a one-of-a-kind racetrack. I know Ironman is always a big event. I got to get out to that one of these days. And I know they got a few big midget events planned for 2022. So it's an amazing racetrack, and everybody I've talked to on the service today seems to be really happy. And I guarantee there's a lot of happy drivers from tonight's race that are willing to come back to Peevely really soon to run with the Apex series like Logan Rumsey will be, or the Paquet Photography Midget Racing Championship here on iRacing.
Absolutely. And of course, we want to thank also our other sponsors here tonight, who are Jake Swanson, Shock Technologies. He's helping us out as well here tonight. And so next week, we go to basically from a big bull ring, as what Peevely could be considered as, to a small bull ring. We go to Fairbury American Legion Speedway next week. It is going to get Foulsy in here. And we were there a couple weeks ago with the Apex Autoglass and Team 410 Sprint Car Championship. That was wild, and I expect nothing less from the midgets at Fouls coming up next Tuesday night.
You said it. I don't think I can expand on that much more. We've seen what that place does with the wing sprint cars, and midgets on an amazing race anywhere they go. I always say there's no such thing as a bad midget race because they're exciting everywhere you go. And man, I think of Fairbury smacking the fence, kind of like you do here at Peevely, and slide jobs galore. So I'm excited for that one as well.
Absolutely. So that will wrap everything up here on Whiskey Oval TV. Once again, thanks for everyone for joining us here tonight. For our producer tonight, Jake from Whiskey Oval TV, go ahead, give them a like on Facebook, on their YouTube, and also on their Twitch. For our great producer, my great co-host, Drake York, and also for Sparky and everyone here with the Paquet Photography Midget Championship presented by JST Shock Technologies. My name is Bert Wojcik, folks. We will see you guys coming up the rest of the week here with tomorrow night with the Next Level Racing 360 Sprint Cars. Have a great week, folks. We'll talk to you later.